Magicians are the masters of illusion. They love to trick people with their amazing skills, leaving them all clueless while the magician receives a huge round of applause. But do you really know how they do all this magic? So beat the famous phone in the bottle trick, or making the head fall off body completely. Hello and welcome back to Factor Fusion. It's time we unlock some of the greatest magic secrets of all time. But before we do that, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get the instant notification of our new video uploads. So let's get started. At number 5, phone in bottle. Dynamo, the famous magician, once performed a trick in which he takes an iPhone from a woman and in a quick moment turns it into a small phone. He then takes a glass bottle from a man, puts that small phone in that bottle, and here comes the final part of the trick. He converts that small phone back into the original bigger iPhone. Someone then calls the number to verify if it is indeed the same iPhone of that woman. So how did Dynamo actually perform this trick? Well, here's the secret. Before this trick was performed, Dynamo had already taken the woman's iPhone, maybe during a previous trick or somewhere else, and gave her an identical copy of iPhone. They then started filming this trick, with the woman already holding a fake iPhone. So Dynamo takes her iPhone with the audience thinking it's her real iPhone. With an impressive sleight of hand, he inserts the iPhone into his jacket using a gimmick called Jacko, which pulls the phone into his jacket using the elastic bands. At the same time, he pulls out a smaller version of the phone from his left sleeve, which he has already prepared, and then fits the small phone into the empty bottle given by the man, who is also a stooge. For the final part of the trick, the bottle you see has been exchanged with the previous bottle, and it was during the camera cut, when the bottle was exchanged by the third stooge in this trick. Now this already prepared bottle has a black card which separates the replica of the small phone and the woman's original iPhone which was taken before this trick. Here the iPhone is hidden behind the card which blends with the Dynamo's black t-shirt. If you pause here, you can see the outline perfectly. Now to convert the small phone back into the original iPhone, Dynamo just rotates the bottle and shows the original iPhone, with the small phone hidden behind the card. Here you can also see Dynamo's thumbs going down, which confirms that he rotates the bottle. At the same time, he makes that black card and small phone disappear using the Jacko technique explained earlier. He finally returns the iPhone left into the bottle to the woman, and of course it rings when her friend calls, because it is indeed her original iPhone. At number 4, turning coffee into coins. Wouldn't it be great if a coffee turns into coins? Call David Blaine, the record-breaking magician who knows this magic trick. Now this was one of the David Blaine's most famous tricks in which he turned a homeless man's cup of coffee into a cup of coins. So how does David make coffee turn into coins? Well, we have the secret. Hidden inside the coffee cup is another small cup with a sponge at the bottom of it. That small cup is just large enough to fit inside the main coffee cup below the coffee line. A sponge is being cut to fit inside the outer cup, and that cup has a small hole at the bottom. The size of the hole is such that the magician can place his finger to cover it, and this becomes the key of this trick. Now the small cup filled with coins goes into the outer cup on top of the sponge, and finally the coffee is poured inside the cup. Now the magician started performing this trick. He places his finger inside the hole at the bottom, and through the hole he slowly pushes the sponge above, and this makes the small cup filled with coins to rise and appear. This makes the coffee drain down below the inner cup from its sides and into the sponge which absorbs all the coffee. Finally, we see the coins appear, and this is how he fools us into believing he is a genius.
There's a spark of magic in your eye.
At number 3, bus levitation trick. In this trick, Dynamo appears to be flying through the busy streets of London next to a double-decker bus. In this well-known trick, Dynamo stuns hundreds of spectators walking around as they watch him levitating with one of his arms holding onto the bus. So how did Dynamo manage to pull off this amazing feat? The secret here is quite simple and pretty obvious. Once you pause and notice how his right arm holding onto the bus never moves, not even vibrates or bends even slightly. This implies he uses a fake arm. And this isn't really his arm, because his so-called right arm is actually a firm metal rod attached to the bus and disguised as an arm, while his real arm is hidden under his clothes, squeezed tightly against his body. To support his body, he even wears an harness which is connected to the metal rod. And this is how he stays in the air. To make this illusion look even more convincing to the viewers, his legs and his left hand are free to move around easily. You can even notice the bump in his shirt that looks like an arch around his front. He intentionally wore the artistic shirt to hide the bump. It also explains why he uses a phone in his other arm, and that is to move and divert the crowd's attention to his other arm. Coming to the bus and the bus driver, that's not any random bus roaming around in London. Rather, the bus driver knows everything that is going around, and Dynamo didn't just float up there. It was a pre-plan, with him first attached to the bus and only then the ride through the London started. Coming to the final scene, it was just a neat camera trick which gives the illusion to the Dynamo letting go of the bus and levitate gently to the ground. At number 2, head drop illusion. Yes, even this insane trick is explainable. In this magic trick, as you can see, the performer walks on the stage, starts performing, and all of a sudden his head drops off to the middle of his chest. And then, to the amusement of the audience, he holds his head with one hand and brings back his head to the original position. This isn't real, you must be wondering. Well, here's the secret how he does it. To perform this trick, the magician uses a black jacket just long enough to cover his knees and a button-down collar shirt for the outside part of the costumes. For the internal part, he simply creates a triangular frame which looks like this, using a hanger, 2 wooden sticks, and a duct tape. After this, he hangs the black jacket on the hanger, wears it, and makes it sure that the wooden sticks are in front of him, so that this whole setup is entirely covered by the jacket. Now, while performing on the stage, he simply lifts his jacket by pushing the coat hanger attached to the wooden sticks. At the same moment, he brings his head down through the V-shaped frame present inside the internal costume. Simultaneously, he holds his dropped off head with his left hand to make this trick appear more realistic. And finally, to complete this trick, the magician pulls his head back up with his left hand. At number 1, water suspension trick. What will you do if someone holds a glass filled with water, covers it with a card, turns the glass upside down, and then holds it over your head? Now, you need not run, because the water will not spill out. Cool, right? This trick is a classic science experiment performed by magicians all over the world, and this is what the secret is. When the magician holds the glass upside down, the magic of science plays its role. That is, the suction created at the top of the glass holds the cardboard in its place, and the air inside the glass cannot escape. Now this trick becomes even more interesting, and the magician removes the cardboard, and guess what? The water still doesn't spill out. For this, the magician uses a plastic lid which is hidden behind the cardboard, and that lid exactly fits over the mouth of the glass. Now you must have noticed it was not the cardboard, but the clear plastic lid which was held in the place by the suction. That's because the vacuum created inside the glass is strong enough to hold the water and the plastic lid together. To break the suction and spill out the water whenever the magician wants, this is how he tricks us. There's a small hole drilled at the bottom of the glass, which he had covered with his finger for the most part of this trick. Now you must have guessed it, how the magician makes the water spill out. Yes, he slowly removes the finger from the small hole, which breaks the suction inside the glass, and the sudden increase in the air pressure pushes the lid, and finally the water spills out. Now that you know the water suspension trick, watch this trick carefully and tell us in the comments whether this trick is fake or real. We'll be revealing this trick in our next magic video. Share this video with your friends on social media. They probably must have no idea how these tricks were done. So guys, these were some of the best magic tricks and their secrets. Also let us know in the comments which trick you'd like to see revealed. For more such amazing things, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And finally, thanks for watching.
Bye.